Hello everyone, good morning. You have my voice? Is it clear? Hello? Okay, nice. How are you? Let's to join the other classmates to our class. Okay. Today, as you remember, previous session we talked about the we had review about C language. Today again we want to continue our discussion with the same concept, meaning that we want to talk about the different structures which are used in C language. One of the structures which are used as control structure in C language is looping structures. However, there are different structures. The other one is conditional statements or selection structures, and the other ones are go-to statements. However, I will talk about them one by one in detail. But what is the loop in C language, or what are looping structures? Actually, a loop executes the sequence of statements many times until the statement or the stated condition becomes false. A loop consists of two parts, a body of a loop and a control statement. And the main purpose of a loop is repeat the same code number of times. The looping structures usually use for, while, and do while term. I will talk about them, about their syntax in next slides. The other control structure is a conditional statement or selection structures. This kind of statements or control structures only runs under certain condition or situation, and actually it's not repeated, and it's executed once if the condition is true. And the terms which are used for generating or creating conditional statements are if, else if, and switch case. The other control structure in C language is go-to statements. I will talk about them in next slides. I'll start with the for statement. About for statement, the syntax is given here. At first, for term is written inside the parentheses. We write the initial value, then semicolon, condition, semicolon, and any kind of operators. And after that, by closing the parentheses, again, we open the curly braces, and the body of for statement is written. However, we don't forget to enclose the curly braces. However, if after for statement we can have on without we can have the body without using curly braces. If there are no braces, the next statement, meaning that this statement or the body is only the statement under the for statement, meaning that it is only one statement, not more than one. Here there are some examples for control structures. For example, for parentheses, as you see inside the parentheses, we write the initial value. At first, the variable name should be written. I called it as count. You can use any kind of a name by following the rules related to using different types of names for variables. Count is equal 0, semicolon, as you see, then till count less than 1000, count plus equal 5. Don't forget semicolons between the initial value, condition, and the operators, as you see here. Or for example, here, as you see, for count equals 0, semicolon, count less than 100, this term is actually our condition, semicolon, and the parenthesis is closed, and inside curly braces, do whatever you want, or the body of for control structure. However, because this statement is only one statement, we have opportunity to not use the braces. Both of the statements are correct. We can omit the braces or we can write the braces. Both of them are correct. However, about this one, as you see, I didn't use the braces. For I equals 0, initial value, J equal 999, again initial value, semicolon. As you see, after initial value for our variables, I use the semicolon. Then we should use the condition I less than 1000, semicolon, operators. Increase I by 1 and decrease J by 1. These operators meanings I explained about them previous session. Then enclose the parentheses and the body of for structure. Baj is equal Iaj and semicolon. As you see, I didn't use curly braces for this one because it is only one statement and it's not required we use curly braces. However, if you use, it's also correct. But if it is more than one statement, then we should use curly braces, these two braces. After talking about for control structure, I want to talk about while control structure. However, for while statement or this kind of control structure, we have two syntax. One of them, at first we write while, and then inside the parentheses we use condition, and then the body of our while structure. However, we can use this kind of syntax. At first we use do, then curly braces and the body of the syntax, and at the end while and the condition. So these are two kind of the syntax which are used for while statements. In one of them, at first we write the condition and then the body of the statement. About the second one, as you see, at first we write the do term, body, and at the end we use the condition, while and condition. However, for both of them, there are part of example only for showing the different syntax of while statements. For first one, as you see here, while the condition I is less than 10, curly braces, as you see, the body port A is equal minus port A, semicolon, then delay, underline, millisecond, the value of delay is written inside parentheses, and it is in terms of milliseconds. However, when I'm talking about delay function, I will talk more about it, about microsecond and a millisecond. It is an example only for while statements, for having information about the condition of the while and the body of the while, against semicolon and I plus plus semicolon and curly braces. About do while, as you see, do term, curly braces, the body of the statements, the same statement is written here. As you see, port A is equal minus port A semicolon, then delay 400 millisecond, one increase I by 1. I, we know that is a integer number, because this operator is used for integer number, again semicolon and enclosed braces, and then the condition is written. These two ones are the same, but about first one. At first, the code start to check the condition, and then the body of statement is written, and about the second one, the condition is written at the end of the code. However, if we write the number 1 inside the parentheses or inside the condition here, if we write 1, number 1, we have basically created an infinite unconditional loop, and the only way out of it is to use the break command. For example, here you see that while 1, and inside the curly braces we have the same code, or any kind of code that we want to repeat it infinite times. Then when we write 1 inside the condition parentheses, it means that this code or body of the statements is repeated infinite time, and the only way to out of it is to use the break command after this code. However, if we don't use the break command, it would be repeated infinite time. Okay, another type of control structures is conditional structures. About these kind of structures, as you remember, we said that if I want to go back to conditional structures, we said that these kinds of structures actually runs under certain conditions or situations, and they are not repeated and executed only once if the condition is true. And the terms which are used for conditional statements or connectional structures, we said that are if, else, if, and switch case. Now I want to talk about these kinds of structures. If a statement is one of the conditional structures, and about these kind of structures, if the condition is true, then the body would be executed by the compiler. You see that the syntax will be as this one: if the condition, and if the condition is true, the body would be executed. However, if only we use one statement here, as our previous syntaxes, we can omit curly braces here. Okay. Sorry for the interrupt, but we are forced to have interrupt. Please wait 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, I'll continue my discussion. Okay? Okay, thank you. Hello again. Sorry. How is my voice? Do you have my voice? Good. Okay. Thank you. Okay. I was talking about if statement. I said that at first we start with the condition after writing if. If the condition is true, then the body of statement is executed by the compiler, and we said that if the body only is including one statement, it's not required to write the braces, and we can omit the braces. After the body of if statement, if the condition is not true, there is another term which is else if. If this condition is not true, then the compiler consider this condition. If another condition or this condition is true, else if condition is true, then the body of else if is executed, and if not, the else term is written and do default operation, meaning that this statement is executed by compiler. However, some of the if statements is not including else if or else, meaning that, for example, this is a general form of if statement syntax. For example, some of the codes only are using if term and its condition and its body. Some of them are including if and else if, and only about some of them we have if, else, if, and else type of the syntax, meaning that first condition at first considered by compiler. If this condition is true, then the body is executed. If not, else if condition, meaning that this condition is considered by compiler, and if it's true, then this body is executed. If this is not also true, then else term is written, and the body related to else as a default is executed by compiler. However, here I have examples related to that. If as you see, the condition is written here, A is equal 30. Now we said that equal operator is using double equal in C language. If A is equal 30, port B.2 is equal 1, semicolon. This is the body of if. But why we didn't use curly braces here? Why? Could you please say to me why we didn't use curly braces for this body, which is related to if statement or if condition?
Because there is one statement only.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, because only it's using one statement, and then as you see, we should use a semicolon. Then else if, okay, the compiler at first start with this code. If this condition is true, then this body or this code is executed. Else if this condition is not true, then first else if condition is considered by the compiler as if A is equal 31, port B.3 is equal 1. Okay, again, this is only one statement and we didn't use curly braces for that. Okay, now if this statement is not true, then another or second else if condition is considered. Else if A is equal 32, port B dot 4 is equal 1, semicolon, until the last else if condition, else if A is equal 33, port B dot 5 is equal 1. And if none of these conditions are true, else port B dot 6 is equal 1. If none of these conditions are true, then the last one as a default is executed by compiler. Here there is another example which is only using if and else if, and in this code we don't have this part of our else our if statement syntax. As you see, if A is equal 30, but here because we are using more than one statement, as you see, we use curly braces. Port B dot 2 is equal 1, semicolon. Another statement is equal x equal 10, semicolon, and the curly braces is enclosed. This is the body related to if condition. Then another condition is considered, else if A is equal 31, again curly braces, because we in the body of else if we have two statements, and then the curly braces is enclosed. About this kind of example, as you see, because in the body of if condition and else if condition we are using more than one statement, we use the curly braces according to the syntax, and also it's not including else part of our syntax. However, in some of the examples, we can have the syntax which is not including else if and only it's including else part of the syntax. Anyway, this is the general form of the syntax, and each of these parts can be omitted related to our kind of our code, and also our expected execution from the compiler side related to our desired code executing. There is another control statement that I talked about it. We said that one of them is a looping structure. We talked about for, while, do while. We said that there is another type which is conditional statements. There are if, else if, and switch case. I want to talk about these types. Let's go to our slide. Okay. Switch case control statement. The syntax is given here. Switch inside the parentheses, expression, and the curly braces, case constant 1, the body, and then break, semicolon, case constant 2, colon. Don't forget to use colon here, and then again the body and break, and so on, and default, and the body and the curly braces is enclosed. However, there is an example here. I is equal 1, the variable initialization and the semicolon, switch I, curly braces inside the parentheses. The expression should be inside the parentheses, curly braces, case 1, as you see, and the colon, port A, the body related to case 1, port A is equal 10, semicolon, and then break, case 2, port A is equal 20, and break, and default, again, don't forget to use colons, port A is equal 0B, and the binary number which is used here. And you see that only here we have two curly braces. The constant for a case as you see here, should be the same data type as variable in switch in the switch. As you see here, the variable in the switch, which is initialized at the first, is an integer number. Then the case constant should be equal with that. However, these are only the examples for having sufficient information about the semicolons, about the columns, about the curly braces which are used in the syntax. And when we are using these codes, you will be so familiar with them in writing the codes. Only here, when I'm trying to have examples about, for example, if and for, or while and do while statements, only I want to be familiar about the different characters that we are using, for example, columns, semicolons, and curly braces. For example, as you see about switch case control statements, we are using only one curly braces, or on the other hand, one pair of curly braces, meaning that one of them is used for opening and the other for enclosing our switch case statement control statement. The other type of control statement is go-to statement. Actually, go-to is a jumping statement in C language, and it is used to transfer the program's control from one statement to another statement, where but which statement? The statement where the label is defined. Actually, colon should be used after label name. The syntax would be as this one. However, there are different syntax. One of them is like this one: go to label, semicolon, and then the body of the code, and then again label, column, statement, one, and semicolon. Or the other syntax related to go to statement is as this one, meaning that at first we write label one, which is inverse of this code, and at the end we use go to label. Here there is an example for that. This is a general example. We have the preprocessor, which is including header file related to the library. Then we have a main function, int a is equal 10. We said that for declaring the variables, we use the variables types here. The variables types is integer number, int a is equal 10, semicolon. And loop colon, we said that we should use colon after label name. Here label name is what? Label name here is loop, as you see. Then the statement should be used. Actually, in this example, we are using the second syntax. Loop, after a loop, we use a colon, as you see. Then the statement related to that, do if a is equal 15. The body related to if a is equal a plus 1, and the next part of go to statement, which is go to where? Loop. Loop is here, as you see, go to label. The label name here is loop. And then the rest of the code, printf value of printf anything that you want, semicolon, increase a integer number by 1, and another part of the code which is related to while statement. So here, as you see, there are two syntax for go to statements. In first of them, at first we use go to and the name of label, which here we used loop, but by using second syntax, and then I use the label and the statement related to that. And about the second one that we used an example, and instead of label I used loop, meaning that the name of go to statement, and at the end go to loop, meaning that by using go to, it transfers the program's control from one statement to another statement. But which statement? The statement in which the label is defined. For example, if the label is defined here, when we are using go to loop, the program is jumping or transfer control to this statement. Any question? Do you have any question about control statements? Okay. Actually, all of them are following the syntax, and all the syntax are, I think, all of them are clear. By having review about them, you can find the different characters which are used in the syntax, and you can find the concepts. After talking about different control statements, I want to talk about C functions. Actually, there are different functions in C language, general form of function declaration. A function actually is a group of statements that together perform a task, and every C program has at least one function which is called main function. If it's only including one function, then it is main function. And most programs can define additional functions. There are two types of function in C programming: standard library function and user-defined function. About standard library function, to use these kinds of function, the header files must be included to our program. However, as I remember, I talked about header files in previous sessions. And the different types of standard library function are given here. For example, printf, which send the formatted output to the screen, and this function is defined in a stdio header file, meaning that, as you remember, in we said that any C program or any type of the code in C programming is starting with a preprocessor, and in the preprocessor we should add the header file. When we want to use printf, we should add in the preprocessor the header file related to stdio.h. Or sqrt, which calculates the square root of the number, and the function is defined in the math.h header file, meaning that after using number sign include inside the characters related to header files, we use math.h. And if we don't use this header file, then this program will not be executed or will have error, because for standard library function, at first the library header file should be added to our codes. Or for example, delay, when we are trying to create a delay, we use this library function, and to do that we should add the header file related to that. However, when we are trying to write the codes, we will talk more about them, and we will use the header files related to them. But not only we have a standard library function, we have user-defined functions in our C language. The syntax related to user-defined function is as this one: return type, function name. However, as I said, the function name as a variable names should follow the special rules related to that. For example, about the function name, we can't use the space. Also, we can't use $, or we can't use the control statements terms. We learned that the control statements terms are if, else, if, while, do while, go to. We can't use as function name in naming or variable name. As I remember, I've been talked about them. Then by following the rules related to naming of variables or function, we choose the function name, and after that the type of parameter, name of parameter, and comma if there is another parameter, again type of another parameter, and name of that, and the parameter list is written inside the parentheses after function name. But before function name, we should add return type to our user defined function, and then the curly braces and body of function, which are arguments or the inputs. Here there is an example. As you see, the function type, return type, is int. Int is related to which kind of variables? Int is related to which kind of variables? We said that there are different types of variables related to their length and volume. Int is related to integer number. However, if we want to use the return type as char, we should use char, or short int, long int, float, double, and so on. So here the return type is integer number. The name of function is, for example, add numbers. You can use any type of the number by following the rules related to naming of variables or functions in C language. And inside the parentheses, again, the parameters list are written, the type of first parameter and name of that, int a, and again about the second parameter, the type of the parameter, which is integer number, again, and the name of parameter. You can use any kind of name. Here I used a and b for the name of parameters. Here there is a general form of a function declaration, which is including the it is including the user-defined function. Double, max. What is double here? For user-defined function, double is related to what? It is return type. Return type, I said that can be char, int, short int, long int, float, double, and any kind of types related to variables. Thank you very much. Yes, double is, yes, it is the variable type, return type of our function, and after that we said that we use the name of function. The name of function I used max, for example, and inside the parentheses the the parameter list, again, I called the first parameter as param1. You can use any other name for your parameters, and type of parameter is double again, and comma second parameter, You can have a list of parameters, for example, 10 parameter, or you can use different types of names, for example, A, B, C, or any other name. And double, again, is the parameter 2 type. It is also double type. Then the function, after naming the function and listing its parameters, curly braces, according to our syntax, return type, which was double in our example. Function name was max. Type 1, type of parameter 1 is double. Name of parameter 1, I call this param 1. Name of parameter 2, I call this param 2, and its type after comma is again double. And then the body of function, which are arguments or inputs, is starting from here. If param 1 inside parentheses, after if, we said that we will have what? After if statement, we will have what? Please cooperate. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Hamza. After if, we will have the condition. If the condition is true, then the body executed. If not, for example, you see that here it's not using else if, and directly it's going to last term of if statement, which is else. So if this condition is true, param 1 is greater than param 2 inside parentheses, then curly braces is opened and enclosed, and inside that the body of if statement is written, return param 1. Okay, if param 1 is greater than param 2, return param 1 semicolon. What are double slashes?
Comments.
Very nice. Thank you. It is extra explanations, and it's not executed by compiler. Thank you for the ones actually are mentally and physically are present in class and cooperating with the class. Curly braces is enclosed, else term is started, and the body related to else term. About else term, we don't have condition, only about if and else if terms we have condition. About else term, as you remember, and as I discussed in previous slides, we don't have condition, and it's directly is going to default. Curly braces are open and enclosed, and return param 2 semicolon, and this curly braces which is enclosed is related to our main function, which is opened here. Be careful about the number of curly braces. If one curly braces is open, it should be enclosed. For example, you see that for if, we opened and again we enclosed, opened and enclosed, and for main function, yes, we can. If you omit the curly braces related to this body related to else, or for example for if, you can omit the curly braces because only we are using one statement, and when we are using only one statement after if condition or else if condition or else condition or else, we can, if we want only using one statement, we can omit the curly braces related to them. But if we are using more than one statement, we should add the curly braces, and the curly braces which is open for user-defined function should be enclosed. In the rest of our discussion, as you saw in user-defined function, we had a return type in the starting of user-defined function. A function may return a value. For example, about these types, we had return type, and the return type, for example, about this one was double, or for example, about this one was int. the return type is data type of value that the function returns, but some of the function perform the desired operation without returning a value, meaning that when we want to write a code that we don't want to return a data to us, or we don't want to return a value for us, then in this case, instead of return type, we use void term. For example, about this code, or however, the syntax will not be the same. If we don't want to return a value for us, for example, here you see that we use the return param2. If we don't want to use this code and we want to use another code, only we want to execute something, and it's not required to give us a result, okay? Then here, instead of the return type, we use void term. For example, instead of double, we use void. Or for example, here, instead of return type, we use void and then the name of function. Then instead of type of return data about the codes that we don't want to have a result, we use void term. Okay, today actually material is finished. Do you have any question? Any question? Thank you very much. Actually, I want to be thankful from the ones are attending to the class, but only attending to the class, it's not sufficient. You should be present mentally and actually physically in the class. About online classes, we have some problems because some of the students actually are attending to the class, but they are not present in class. About C language review, it is so easy, but if you can't understand the syntax and concept related to different structures, you will have problem about the coding. However, I know that it's so easy, and you can listen to the voices. But if you are present in class, you can ask your question related to different parts which are ambiguous for you, and it's unclear for you. Anyway, I'm really thankful for the ones who are cooperating with the class and have study about the previous session. I understand that when I'm asking a question, I found that the ones who are cooperating, it means that they have study about previous sessions lectures. Anyway, about code vision and Pretius that some of the students ask by email, or they send a message. These two applications are free, and you can have a group with other classmates and ask the ones who installed these two applications, and we are using C language in our coding, not C++. If you don't have any question, we can finish our class. And no, I'm sending all of the slides in OIS system. After each class, when it's finished, I send the materials, the lectures PDFs in OIS system. You can check your mailing box in OIS system. Thank you very much. Have a nice time, and bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.